1 week before Christmas. We remember it because we had, I think, 5 weddings and a funeral in the 1 year.
And to think back, I think we put up the tree because Mum died in March. And our tree is sprinkled with my mum's decorations, like this one. She used to collect like these little glass angels and things.
My mum actually taught me, some will, some won't, so what?
Don't worry about disappointing them. You need to look after you. Leon says, tears are fine. Encourage discussions about the loved one you lost. They deserve to be remembered and celebrated.
Jilly says, Mum and I share a birthday. Every year I buy a big balloon and write messages to her in marker. I kiss it and let it fly.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Good Grief. Thanks for tuning in.
Behind the scenes, we were just laughing at how my shirts feel small. I'm really self-conscious about that. I'm not the one that should be self-conscious. I'm not pregnant,
No,
but there's a glimpse into my world, everybody.
you're not. I am.
You are, and when this episode is being listened to, you will be 24 weeks.
I will. Be 24 weeks, week before Christmas.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good now, you guys. Thanks for asking.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Because that early trimester was a dark time.
It was rough, but now we're good. The sun is shining and I have a fan. So
That's right.
yeah.
We've had to place a fan directly in front of Kaylee so that she can get her airflow, maximum airflow. Otherwise,
airflow needed.
this podcast would not be happening in summer in Australia.
It'd be brought to you by Sweat a Lot.
Yeah, Ryan Solo.
Where did Kaylee go?
Oh, that's right. She's having a baby. It's great to have you back with us. We've got a pretty special episode on today.
We do.
What are we covering? Yeah.
We have asked our beautiful people in our group what some advice would be to someone going through or approaching their first Christmas without their loved one,
Yeah.
or the holidays.
Or their next Christmas.
Or their next, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily... It's different for everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean the second is easier than the first. Sometimes it's harder.
Absolutely. Just how did you get through?
Yeah, we're 11 years. We've got people that are 20 years into grief that are still, riding the waves.
Still doing it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think last time, which was the first time we did an episode like this, advice for grievers from grievers, it got a lot of love and a lot of feedback. So
yeah,
I think it's a perfect time to do this.
People loved it.
1 week before Christmas. What are we doing for Christmas?
What are we doing? We're doing a family Christmas with yours a week early because your brother and sister-in-law are going on a cruise.
Yep.
And so then we'll head up to see my auntie and uncle and on the sunny coast and stay with them for a couple of days.
And my mum will come up.
Yeah.
And I guess this conversation, we just want to preface it by saying, some of the things might be really helpful and just amazing. Some of the things might be hard to hear, and I can go back to that first year Christmas that we had 11 years ago. That year we remember it because we had, I think, 5 weddings and a funeral in the 1 year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was amazing because cousins were getting married and we were celebrating all year long. And then Dad died November. And so we remember it as 5 weddings and a funeral. It's kind of a movie title.
It is. I was about to say, you guys could write a book.
What is the movie title? There's a movie title similar to that, isn't there?
4 weddings and a funeral?
4 weddings and a funeral. Oh.
You guys beat them.
I think Mum will probably listen to this and correct me.
Yeah, she does.
She's great
Thanks,
at that.
Donna.
Thanks, Mum. But yeah, that year, we were expecting an amazing Christmas and it just got shattered to pieces. And so...
Maybe that's some of our listeners.
Yeah, my heart just goes out to you guys listening
Yeah.
that maybe throughout this year you were ready for a great year and then there was a sudden turn of events and now you're facing Christmas without your mum or your uncle or your, daughter.
Yeah, grandparents.
Totally. Or a pet. So our heart goes out to you, and so we just want to, I guess, lay that foundation.
Yeah.
And then many of you listening along have lost multiple people over many years and still working out how to do Christmas, and we are as well. So we'll talk about some of those today. We
Yeah.
want to shout out everybody who's dropped in some helpful advice inside of our Good Grief Facebook group.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We love our group.
Shout out family.
Love the people.
And we just thank you for giving in a time that tends to be tough.
Yeah. And when people need it,
Yeah.
need to hear this.
And some of the things in here, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take on some of these ideas. I don't know if you've thought that.
Yeah.
But maybe we should kick off. Where should we start? You tell me. You're the boss.
I'm the boss. All right. I think you should start with Vanessa.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, coming in hot from Vanessa. Thanks for dropping this in. Vanessa says, no advice. This will be my first year without mum, who was the most amazing Christmas decorator, magic maker, baker, and all the things.
Do you mean decorator?
Did I say that?
No, you said decator.
Is that a different thing?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Guys, Ryan's making up words, but
All right.
just in case you didn't know what he meant, I
You
thought
can
I needed to correct.
Thank you. You can tell where I sat in the English class, at the back or outside. All right.
She's a decator.
If someone knows what a decator is, can you drop that in the comments? Or
Well, maybe
in our
it's like
group?
more decor, but
All right, let me just start that bit again because Vanessa has got a great way with words here.
She does.
She's a bit of a rap artist, poet, and
she
probably
so
doesn't
could
know
be, yes.
it. This will be my first year without mum, who was the most amazing Christmas decorator,
Yep.
magic maker, baker, and all the things.
All the things.
Especially Christmas Eve for my kids. I've been really struggling this holiday season and feel that I am going through the motions for everybody else. Her and my birthdays are also this month, so that's the firsts piled. So a lot of firsts have piled on and left me drained. I did pull up all Mum's Christmas villages in my kitchen as a new tradition. That was difficult, but I'm proud of it.
Christmas villages must be a US or
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I just imagined
I think they're like
models.
little models, little people, little
Yeah.
towns of Christmassy
If
things.
it's anything like Lego, I'm in.
They do have villages for Lego, don't
Yeah.
they? Maybe not Christmas ones. We'll
No.
look into it.
Yeah.
But I just so relate to Vanessa because my mum was the same. She was like Mrs. Christmas. She just
I've never heard you call her that.
Yeah, no, I haven't called her that, but I just thought
What does
of
that
it.
make your dad?
Dad just let her do it. Whatever you want.
But he wasn't Grinch.
No, he
Okay.
wasn't. No. Yeah, Mum did all the things. Like the tree was always such a big thing. When we were kids, we had stockings that she'd put on our doors, and they were filled with all cool little things like lollies and little presents and like
I love that.
all little surprises. It was like that was almost more exciting than the presents under the tree. It was like, what's going to be in my stocking that's not in your stocking? And like,
So they were
that's the
individual.
they were individual.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they were on our door handles.
Oh.
So as soon as we woke up and opened the door, like we were
Yeah.
allowed to go through our stocking.
Oh, cool. Before the presents.
Yeah. So if Mum and Dad weren't up, we're allowed to like dig into that.
I love that. And I don't know if I love it because we never got that or because thinking about our family in the future as a tradition that we could take up
I was going to say
Yeah,
that. I'm so excited to start that
in
with our
memory
kids.
of your mum.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
so you relate a lot to Vanessa's story.
Yeah, Mum was always baking like cookie trees, and I think she had this like foam Christmas tree, and she would pin on like wrapped chocolates and lollies
Oh,
to the
cool.
tree, and it was like a beautiful
That's fun as
coloured, with the foil, the green, red, gold foil wrappings.
well. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
she would
awesome.
she would do that
So
sort of
much
stuff.
effort.
Oh, so
Like-
much effort. The decorations around the house, not just on the tree. Like she has a green garland that would go across the top of the curtains and the blinds, and hang bows on that and lights. And she would dress the table with a beautiful, tablecloth and decorations and things.
I love that you can remember those things and it puts a smile on your face and you remember your mum for just some of those beautiful qualities. I'm thinking about, and we'll talk about sort of decorations, I think, and Christmas trees and with some of these bits of advice. But for some people, like
That's hard.
yeah, that'll be very hard early
Yes.
on. And I know we didn't put up a tree first year. maybe we just got like a little, like a little.
Well, it was
You know.
so fresh. You guys were like a month
so
out.
I don't think we put up a tree.
I'm not
and,
surprised.
and we didn't care for presents or anything like that.
Yeah.
With our immediate, like, I mean, for anybody, but we didn't. We're like, we don't need presents. You know, the greatest gift to us has been taken. So, you know, I just want to sort of position those two thoughts as like, now where you're at, really remembering those special things is just such a gift that your mum left you with. But in the early days, it's totally okay to not feel like touching, looking at, putting up, giving anything at all. That's totally okay.
And to think back, I think we put up the tree because Mum died in March. I'm pretty sure we would have put up the tree because that was...
Imagining your family, I think...
Yeah. I definitely
out
don't
of
think
5
we went
people,
out with...
there would be
Yes.
someone saying, I'm putting up the tree in your family. Yeah.
And it was probably me,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Yeah, but I don't think as much effort
Sure.
was put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we do have our tree up. We're in our lounge room right now. We've got our tree up. That's been something nice. You know, Kaylee and I have been together 5 years, just about. And so we love Christmas these days. We really do. And it's nice to share in those things, start new traditions, remember old traditions as well. We've talked about on a previous episode that with traditions that you can keep them, you can change them, or you
Chuck
can
'em.
ditch them,
Yeah.
chuck them.
Yeah.
So
And our tree is sprinkled with my mum's decorations.
totally.
Yeah, like this one. She used to collect like these little glass angels and things. A lot of angels.
That's one of my favorite actually on
Yeah.
the tree. And if you're listening on the podcast,
It's so pretty.
It's about 1.5 inches tall. It's glass with gold little tips. It's
Yeah.
an angel praying.
Angel's got praying
with a halo.
hands. And yeah, gold around the wings and around her gown dress thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so cute.
So that was your mum's?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a really nice reminder.
Yeah.
And
I
way to
just
honour
like
her.
that it's sprinkled with her. I've even got like a little gold angel that's got a bell hanging off it. It's just a flat piece of gold, copper. And it's got my name engraved in it. And Mum did that for all of us kids
Super
long ago, like 20 years ago. So yeah, I just like having those things there.
Okay, so that's one of our first pieces of
Yes.
advice.
Let's move on.
We've gone down a Christmas rabbit hole,
We have.
but hopefully it's helpful.
Yeah, just if it feels right for you to do it, do it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you may definitely just grow into that.
Who we got next?
We've got Heather. Heather says, plan less. Do something specific to them, whether it be certain decorations or a shelf with their picture. Light a candle so you can have something physical to represent their light and life. Leave time for extra rest and cancel things that seem too much at the time. First, everything's are exhausting.
So good. Heather sounds like a wealth of wisdom.
A wise woman.
Yeah, I really think that it's wise to cancel things
Yeah.
and be okay with that, and that you're not letting other people down. You're actually setting yourself up.
Yeah.
That's the way I think about that sort of thing, especially in this time. And at a time when some people will understand, some people won't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mum actually taught me, some will, some won't, so what?
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry about them this Christmas. Don't worry about disappointing them. You need to look after you.
Shout out Donna Bowles.
Yeah. Thanks, Donna Bowles.
Some will, some won't.
So what?
Great advice. We've got another Heather here.
Heather number 2.
Yeah. Last year was the first without my mum. This year will be the first without my dad. That's really hard.
Wow.
It's a strange feeling to be without parents. They were here and they were gone so quickly. COVID and a car accident took them from us. And she says, I'm not doing anything for the holidays this year. It feels more appropriate to take the time and just remember.
That's so good, Heather.
I think it's smart.
Yep. That's rough. 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
My heart breaks for
Yeah.
Heather.
absolutely.
And all the others who we know who have written in with multiple losses so close together recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. We'll talk a little bit more about multiple losses at the end of this episode because we've got something special planned
We
for everybody.
do. Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right, you've got a friend of ours now, Leon.
Oh, is that Leon?
We know Leon really, really well.
Yeah, he's a good mate. Leon says, tears are fine. Encourage discussions about the loved one you lost. They deserve to be remembered and celebrated. Encourage everyone to be comfortable to do this. And I've just got at the end of my notes, not knowing that was our friend Leon, I was just like, yes! Because I couldn't agree with that more. That just helped our family so, so much to just be comfortable and all agree that talking about her was so important.
Yeah.
And it was just so healing for us.
Yeah, and I think the way to get comfortable initially starts with being uncomfortable. Someone, whether it's yourself or maybe it's, depends who you are. If you're a parent, maybe it's your son that speaks up, or maybe it's your husband that speaks up, or maybe you're the one to whoever to say, because there'll be an elephant in the room, and that's just naturally going to happen. People around you, aunties, uncles, grandparents, etc., won't know how to bring that conversation up.
So you got to do it.
Yeah, somebody has to. And so having a bit of a pre-game plan as to how that is, and knowing that it'll be uncomfortable to bring it up, but then you'll find a beautiful space, most likely, where you can share some memories and some fond moments.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, encourage everyone to be comfortable to do this. So that might just be like saying, hey, I'd love everybody to share something about John that made them laugh.
Yeah.
Or a time when John really loved them.
Yeah. Well, what was your favourite thing this person did at this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it'll be uncomfortable, but once you move through that, it'll provide some space.
Yeah. I think the people who are uncomfortable will soon realise that it actually feels good to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not straight away, but
Yeah,
definitely.
There'll be different vibes,
Yeah.
for sure. And this probably leans on Angela, our next lovely piece of advice. And Angela says, just be gentle with yourself. Last year was my first Christmas. I didn't want to decorate or bake or be festive at all. I was so hard on myself and tried to force it for my kids and my family. It just completely backfired and I crashed. This year, I'm giving myself permission to just be right where I am and communicate it better with my family.
That's
Powerful.
so good. What a great lesson.
Yeah.
Communication's key.
Yeah. We've spoken a lot on the podcast about communication.
Yeah.
But I love that, just to be, and also not to try and force it on family because it backfired. Often we can try and think how others should act, but just knowing we've just got to look after ourselves. And if we do that, then we're better off helping other people.
Yeah. I think if anything feels forced, just don't do it. Pull back.
Yeah.
Start small. And you can always add.
That's great.
Yeah.
Start small and you can always add. That's amazing. All right, who we got
Thanks,
next?
Angela. Next we have Liz. She says, there are no shoulds or have-tos. If you find yourself trying to push through, recognize where you're using these terms and that it's not necessary. If you want to do something, do it. If you feel like it's too much, take a step back and reevaluate next year. There is nothing linear about grief, so let yourself have the experience that's most true to you around your loved one. I mean, how good does that tie into what we were just saying?
Perfect. Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Yeah.
That's so great.
No shoulds or have-tos. I think that just takes the pressure off. You can just breathe a bit and realize I can do this how I need to and how I feel to in the moment.
Yeah. And take a step back. If it feels like too much, there's another one next year. You can do it different next year.
Super good. And we've done heaps different, even the time we've been together, let alone before we knew each other. There's been so many different Christmases. And I think, this year, Jordan and Elise, my brother, they're off on a cruise for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so they're doing it different.
Doing a little solo
Yep.
thing.
And I'm a bit jealous as well.
We like cruises.
We like cruises, yeah.
We've been wanting to go on a cruise.
That was actually a really fond memory with Dad and our family, was a cruise. 2004, someone can probably correct me, we were actually cruising to Vanuatu, and we were on the cruise during Christmas, and the tsunami happened to hit Sri Lanka and Indonesia and Thailand and all those places. And we saw it on the news that morning, Christmas Day, I believe. By Christmas night, everything, like at the restaurants, was sliding off the tables. Cutlery, plates, cups, just sliding off the tables. And we copped, the backwash, I guess, of the tsunami as it made it through. It was pretty crazy. But it was special to be on a cruise during Christmas with Dad and Mum and our family.
It was special, and now your mum doesn't go on cruises.
No, she didn't think she liked them before that. She definitely hates them now. But we love a good cruise.
Yeah.
Okay, back to our advice. Hope you don't mind these little anecdotes and side stories. We've got Farah, and Farah says, be with people who honour your loss and your person. Be flexible with what you think you want. It may change even on the day of. Schedule in lots of recharge time for whatever that means, i.e. sleep, walks, or time alone, as grief is draining. Do what feels right for you, even if it means saying no or disappointing someone. You deserve what you need. And the Farah adds a little final tip. She says, the health professional in me, the health professional in me says, try to eat well, get fresh air, and sleep to have more resilience to deal with the emotions.
So good.
Wise words. Simple
Thanks,
things,
Farah.
once again.
Don't feel anything about disappointing someone.
And I think on the day as well, really simple, just to take a step outside and go for a walk. I've done that many a year. When you just feel like you can just feel a sense of, I'm not comfortable, or this is causing anxiety, or I feel pressured, or I can feel emotions, starting to really build up or rise up with me. Every house has a door. Just take a step outside, get some fresh air. I mean, half the world's dealing with snow, so
True.
it might be like dumping when you're needing to take a step outside, but even into a separate room.
Yep. Or head down to the basement.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
our Americans.
Yeah.
North Americans, we don't have basements here in Australia.
No, we don't.
We'd have to go down just to the garage,
Yep.
which gets really hot.
It might even be too hot here
Yeah.
to take a walk outside. But
Yeah.
if you can, take an umbrella or whatever you can. Just
Totally.
maybe even tell someone, hey, I'm just going to step outside for some fresh air.
Smart move.
So then they're not worried as well. They're like,
Totally.
what's his name's disappeared?
They've done a runner.
They didn't like the trifle.
All right, why don't you take us away with our next bit of advice?
All right, this one's from Nance. I don't like trifle, people. I don't like the jelly.
I love trifle.
No, jelly and soggy cake.
I was
it's
trying
not.
to give you a way out by saying jump on the next bit of advice,
And I jumped back
but
in.
you jumped right back into trifle.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to put up a poll about who likes trifle.
We need to put up a poll about trifle. It's coming, people. All right, from Nance. Accept that holidays will forever be different. So true.
Yes, we could just stop there.
Yeah. She could just have done a one-liner, but she keeps going. Give yourself grace to not force old traditions for the sake of others. With young children and grandchildren, it's going to be hard to force happiness. It's okay for them to see you shed a few tears. Concentrate on good memories and funny stories. Yes. I've never liked the phrase new normal, but change happens to us all. I lost my dad when I was 13, my mum at 21. My husband died 5 years ago, and our son died 2 months later. Far out.
Wow.
I've lost 2 siblings in the past 3 years. Grief still hits at odd moments. I will always remember and miss all the special family and friends, and thank God for having had them in my life.
Wow. Nance, you're incredible. Thank you so much for writing in. That is huge.
I think my heart just stopped for a second.
Yeah, it's massive. To me, I think what really brought it home and was quite beautiful is that Nance says, you know, even though grief hits at odd moments still, which is comforting to know that, you know, someone well ahead in their grief after losing multiple people still is working this thing out. But I love that Nance says, I'll always remember and miss all the special family and friends, and thank God for having had them in my life.
Yeah.
And it probably takes me to one of the conversations we've been having inside the Facebook group, where we've just asked, you know, what's something that you're grateful for? And just such an overwhelming response of, I was grateful that I had them in my life, you know, and was able to love and receive love and share memories. And I think as hard as that can be to say, it's one of the most special gifts.
We know that gratitude helps, and it brings us back to the goodness. Yeah. So
thank you for
thanks, Nance.
Yeah, beautiful words.
You're amazing, and we're praying for you.
Right, we've got Katie. Katie writes in and she said, literally take one day at a time and do what feels right for you, which has been a bit of a resounding sentiment.
For sure.
There's so much pressure to make the holidays special, but when you're grieving, it's really hard to do that sometimes. If you feel like going all out, do that. If you can't bear to look at Christmas decorations, give yourself the grace and kindness and don't do it. No matter what you decide or how you handle it, it has always been helpful to me to just let the emotions flow as they come. Don't suppress it, face it head on, and also try to do something that would bring back the good memories of your loved ones so that you can have a little bit of reprieve from the heaviness.
That's it. I mean, yeah. If you can't bear it, don't do it.
Totally.
Yeah. Don't feel like you got to put on a show for anyone.
Yeah, or a brave
do
face.
Anything. Yeah.
There's been a few of these thoughts where it's like tears are okay, emotions are fine. I loved even someone said it's okay to let your kids or grandkids see you cry.
Yeah.
I think that's super healthy.
Totally.
Totally normal.
Yep. I like it. Thanks, Katie. Beautiful. So now next I have Erica. It's okay for you to exist. Cry. Laugh. Cry again. Create a new tradition to remember them. Don't beat yourself up for not doing the same as the years before. Once you're ready, you'll come back even greater. Our grief deserves the rest. God's blessings to you as you work through your grief. You have many people praying for you.
So good. I feel inspired by Erica. Yeah, when she said, you'll come back even greater. Isn't that so true?
Yep. We were talking about that, weren't we? Strength to strength.
Yeah, totally. In our next episode,
don't want to give too much away.
You're actually going to hear about going from strength to strength through grief. We'll talk about
multiple
that.
losses.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
But I love it. Yeah, create a new tradition to remember them. You don't always have to try and repeat what they did.
Yeah.
We've done that, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think we've said
Multiple
before.
times.
I started making cinnamon buns.
Yeah, totally.
For Christmas
Lots of
morning.
New traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas we'd normally do like chocolate croissants with Mum.
Mm-hmm.
I might do a mixture of both this year. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
And then we'll bring in stockings when the kids
trifle.
come.
All right. We've got a few more here. A couple of short ones. So Kimberly just said, this isn't the time to overextend. And that's so good.
That's wise words.
Yeah. Know your limits.
Yeah.
And feel free, like it's been said already, to say no.
Start small.
Step out. There you go.
Yeah. So good.
Lisa said, start new traditions. Best advice I ever got. Everything is different, so it helped.
That new traditions thing.
It's great.
It's up there with the top.
Yes.
So good. I think that's been hammered in throughout all of our advice today. So that's so good. Wendy says, be kind to yourself. Last year was the first without my mum. It was hard, but this year is harder still. I now know I was in a daze, numb last year on autopilot. I'm struggling more this year. Have no Christmas cheer, no motivation.
I know what that daze is like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah. Just, I mean, even thinking back, some of the things, it's hard to even remember. I remember the day being a blur, Christmas Day. We tried to see family, and just as soon as we did, we were like, this isn't
Little
right.
kick?
Are you getting kicks?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Side note, night before, only a week ago, I felt her kick for the first time, or a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then 2 nights ago, felt her kick 11 times.
Yeah, I felt the first one, and then you felt 11
times in a row.
row.
So that was pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking to her, and she was having a fat time.
We were asking her what date she's going to be due, and so she
Yeah.
got to 12. So she's due on April 9th.
But she first got to the 5th and paused.
Yeah, but she kept going.
And then she kept going, so who knows? Could be the 5th or the 12th.
Yeah. So if you're new to the podcast, Kaylee's birthday is April 9. She
She's
also
due on
happens
my
to
birthday.
be due on April 9.
Yes.
That's why we're asking her, kick.
Yeah.
And
how many times?
you
Tell us when you're coming.
Yeah, so she stopped on 12, so we'll see if she's right.
Yeah.
We also asked her where
she wants us to take her for the first time.
Yeah, and she stopped on Malaysia for the MotoGP, which is pretty cool. 'Cause we love motorbike racing.
Yeah. And she was in my belly for the MotoGP at Phillip Island this year in
That's right.
Australia.
So she's been to her first race.
She has.
She just didn't see it.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm sure she heard it.
let's finish this episode strong. So
Yeah.
we've got, I think, 4 more. These are great, and so don't want to rush through them at all. But we've got Jilly here. Mum and I share a birthday every year. Well, I read that wrong. She pauses when she says this. Of course she shares a birthday every year, because they tend to happen the same time.
They do.
Unless you're
Annually.
a leap year, and that's next year.
It is
Fun
next
fact.
year. Yep.
I'll start that again. Jilly says, Mum and I share a birthday. Every year I buy a big balloon and write messages to her in marker. I kiss it and let it fly. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't heard anybody share something like that. I think that's just a
No.
really, really cool thing to
Yeah.
do.
To do every year. Yeah, so cool.
She goes on to say, I lost my mum to pancreatic cancer the day before Christmas Eve, which, man, that's hard. She says, to perk myself up, I put the tree up before Thanksgiving and remember a lifetime of laughter and joy instead of focusing on her passing and the illness. It's not easy, but I'm still trying after 20 years.
20 years. Wow, Jilly. I mean, I love that we decide to focus on Mum's birthday rather than her passing day. I mean, we'll still remember her that day, but
Totally.
try to make more of a thing about her birthday than her
Yeah.
passing day. Yeah. And, definitely still do things to, remember all the joy and the laughter and the good times.
Thanks for sharing, Jilly.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got, how do you pronounce this name? And forgive us in advance.
Yeah. Sealy?
Okay, let's go with that. I was going to say Selly, but that could be
Could
like,
be Selly.
I think of mobile phone. Like
Celi. You guys can make up your own pronunciation. As you
it's
read.
like your name.
Yeah.
Can be tricky, Kaylee.
Yeah.
If you can, take a trip.
Take
Short
a trip.
and sweet.
Yeah. I like it.
Me too.
That's what your brother's doing.
Yep.
Taking a trip.
I mean, he's not doing it because of
No.
grieving, but
he's doing it.
he's doing it.
Yeah. So good.
Cool.
Just takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Just go somewhere and
Yeah.
get into a new environment. And
Totally.
yeah.
When you experience new things as well, it creates new memories, and so it's a great way to change things up.
Yeah. New memories, new joy.
We've got Sammy, and Sammy says, do only what you feel like doing. Both my parents are gone now, and at first I was lost. I'm slowly building new traditions with my immediate family. That's just beautiful. And great to know that what Sammy's gone through and what she's working on, And I think focusing on new traditions with family, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, and that same thing. Do only what you feel like doing.
Yeah,
Take the pressure off.
It's super good.
Yeah. Start small. If it feels too rushed, don't do it. So, a last one from Julie.
Last but not least.
Yeah.
And there's plenty more rolling in. Like notifications are popping up on my phone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so there's so much more advice coming from members in the group.
So good. If only we had time to share more, we'd keep going live. Be with the people that loved the person you lost the most, if possible. I just love that.
That's great.
Like, she could stop there.
Mm-hmm.
We could turn these into one-liners. Because they will have a better understanding of your pain. They also, hopefully, have a special love for you too, and will know how hard it is. Don't expect too much from yourself. If you're not up to it, just tell people. It's hard to be around people when you know you'll be triggered by so many memories and start crying. But it's also not good to be alone. So I guess that's a judgment call. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, isolation's probably the hardest. Sometimes we think being around people is hard, but isolation can often
be harder.
Yeah, because
in the long run, I think.
Yeah, totally. So I love that. Think about the people that you want to be around for Christmas. Sometimes that's immediate family, sometimes it's not. I can remember early on, I loved just being around friends that knew Dad because they would have fun stories or moments that he helped them or, those sorts of things. And to me, that was just so refreshing and just what I needed rather than sometimes like
Hayden, who came over and just made you guys laugh.
I was thinking about Hayden, yeah. And so I didn't necessarily need outside family trying to pat me on the back or,
Yeah, sometimes family can be too close to the situation, so it's too hard or it can be too serious.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So, great advice from Julie.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. It's a good one to end on.
Yeah.
I like that. Surround yourself with people who will know your loved one and know how hard it is for you. They'll understand and they'll know what to do.
This has been a super episode, if I don't say so myself.
Oh, if you don't say so.
Thanks to all of our amazing family inside of our Facebook group
for
writing in.
Couldn't do it without you guys.
Incredible pieces of wisdom and advice. Really practical, really simple at times as well. I think that's the way we should move through our grief.
Yeah. I think some resounding points in there too throughout.
Yeah, totally. And you're probably listening to this between the week before and Christmas, and so we just want to say that we pray that you do have a blessed Christmas and New Year as well. Even though this time will be hard, just expect that it'll be hard, and that way it won't surprise you as much. That's how I sort of tended to deal with some of those things, by expecting it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And then when it was, I was like, well, it meets my expectation a little bit better than thinking, I'll get through it okay and we'll just make it through.
Yeah. Yeah, we pray you take on some of this advice and just go easy on yourself and just do what you can.
Yeah. We have mentioned it throughout the episode. Our next episode is going to be with a friend of ours named David Schaefer. David actually wrote the book that I'm holding here called Grieve Upwards, One Man's Journey Through the Valley. And we got Dave in to chat about his story, and without sharing too much, it's around multiple losses. Dave first lost his father when he was young.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack. He lost his first wife after many decades of marriage.
And 3 kids.
And then lost his daughter, remarried, and last year lost his second wife. So Dave's really got a world of wisdom and just an incredible foundation based in Christ and on the Bible as well. So
yeah, he was a pastor for many years.
Yeah, and we were really blessed by the conversation. So we're looking forward to hearing that episode. It'll be out after this, a week after this, which will probably be the start of the new year. And
oh no, won't it be Christmas?
Oh, it'll be Christmas.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, Christmas Boxing Day episode.
Yes. So stay tuned for that.
We just know it's going to bless so many of you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so rich.
it's a great conversation.
Yeah. If you think this was super, this is super and rich.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I don't want to take away from what this
No,
was,
this has
but
been
like
great.
it's different, and it's just, it'll bless you so much.
But as always, if this has been helpful today and you know others, family members that could do with some of these thoughts and advice, share it with them. That would be amazing.
Yeah, please.
And from the bottom of our hearts, we just want to say, bless you over this Christmas. And we're sending all of our love and hugs
praying
your
for
way.
you. Yeah.
Until next time.
Big love, guys.
Bye for now.
Bye.